Okay, welcome to our third video on changing the subject in algebra. If you haven't seen our first two videos, they're available: Algebra 1, changing the subject, and Algebra 2, changing the subject examples. So these ones are just a little bit more complicated, so if you want to go and look at the first two videos, if you're just a beginner, then I would highly recommend that. So here we want to make R the subject, and we have A on its own over here, so at the moment A is the subject, and this equals 1 over 6 pi r squared. So for example, this could be a volume of a particular shape. This could be the equation, and you know what A is and you want to know what R is, so you want to get R on its own. That's why you would want to be changing the subject on a question like this. So first of all, we have this 1/6 here, so we want to get rid of that. So we want to multiply through, so we want to multiply through by 6. So multiply both sides by 6, and that's going to give us 6a equals pi r cubed. Okay? And then we've got this pi here, so we want to get rid of that. So if we divide both sides by pi, that's going to give us 6a over pi on one side, and it's going to give us r cubed on the other. Now, to get rid of this cube here, we're going to cube root. Cube root, that's the opposite of cubing something. We're going to cube root both sides. So that's the whole thing. We're going to cube root the whole thing here. So cube root 6a over pi, and that equals r. Alright, and now we've got r on our own, and we can plug in the value for a and find r. So that is the correct answer. We've got r on its own over here. Cube root 6a over pi. Okay, now in this one we've got x on both sides and we've got two brackets. So the easiest way to do this, I think, is to multiply out the brackets on both sides. So you've got 5 brackets x plus 1/2 y equals 2 brackets x minus y, close brackets. So what we can do here, multiply out the 5 first, so that gives us 5x plus, so 5 goes on the top of this fraction here, 5 over 2 y equals, multiply this one out, a little bit easier, 2x minus 2y. Okay, now we have it here, so let's get all the x's on one side and all the y's on another side. So what's the best way to do this? Okay, I am going to minus this side by 5 over 2y. So minus 5 over 2y minus 5 over 2y. So that's going to give us 5x all on its own equals 2x minus, so 2 plus 5 over 2, so 2 equals 4 over 2, so that's going to give us 9 over 2y. Okay, and now I want to get rid of this 2x on this side, so I'm going to minus both sides by 2x. Okay, so that's going to give us 3x all on its own again. This one's minusing from this one. Minus 5 over 2y. Okay, and now we want x on its own. We don't want this times 3, so we're just going to divide both sides by 3. Divide by 3, and that's going to give us over here x all on its own, so that's great, equals minus 9 over 2, so we can just times the 2 by 3 and get 9 over 6. Yeah, 9 over 6y. So if you want to understand why it becomes 9 over 6, dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1 over 3. Okay, so you can do this. We'll have some more videos coming out soon about multiplying and dividing fractions together. So it's the same as multiply by 1 over 3 or 1/3. So 9 over 2 multiplied by 1 over 3 becomes 9 on the top, and then 2 multiplied by 3 becomes 6 at the bottom. Okay, and here we have the answer we wanted. X all on its own equals 9 over 6y. Alright, that's excellent. Okay, now we want to make x the subject here. So we can see that the problem is we've got multiples of x, so qx and tx on different sides. So we need to sort that out first, and then we have singular variables here. We call them that, b and y. So we need to get the x's onto one side and the b's and y's onto one side, the ones that aren't x's. Okay. So what we're going to do first, I'm going to minus both sides by b, I think. Minus both sides by b. And that's going to give me t x on its own, which is good, equals q x plus y minus b. Okay, so we've got tx on its own. Now let's get the q over onto this side. So let's minus both sides by qx, shall we? So minus q x minus q x, both sides. Okay, so that's going to give us t x minus q x, and then on one side it's just going to be y minus b. Y minus b. Okay, so now what we have to do is we can see that there's x on both, in front of both of these variables, in front of both t and minus q. So that's good. We can factorize that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to put x on the edge of the bracket, and then put the brackets in here, and then we're going to have t minus q, and then we're going to have that equal to y minus b. Okay, so you can see that if we multiply this out, it would be the same. It would be x times t, so it would make tx, and x times minus q would make minus qx. Okay, and then what we can do is we can just divide by the brackets here. Okay, so we can divide by t minus q, and that will cancel it out from this side, and then we'll go over here, and we'll have x on our own. So let's do that. Minus just going to keep it black for now, t minus q, and minus t minus q. Okay, minus it from both sides. That is going to give us x on its own, like we want. X on its own equals, and then we're going to have y minus b over t minus q. And then look, we've done it. We've got x on its own. Maybe we know all of these values, so then we can find out the value of x. Alright? Okay, last question we're going to do today. Alright, here we have 7x plus b over a minus 3x equals 3. So this is a bit complicated because we've got x divided. So we've got x on the top and x on the bottom. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put the x's over here, multiply them out, and then move them all onto one side and move the other non-x variables onto the other side, and then we'll all be good. So what we're going to do is first we're going to multiply by a, keep it red I think, a minus 3x. Okay, we've got multiplied through a minus 3x. Alright, so that's going to get rid of this here. So on the left hand side we're going to have 7x plus b equals, so the 3 is going to go over here, so divided by, multiplied, 3 multiplied by the a minus x, so we'll just do it like this, 3, and then brackets first, a minus 3x. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to expand out this bracket. So we're going to keep it the same over here. 7x plus b equals, and then expanding out this bracket, so that's going to give us 3a, and then 3 times minus 3 is going to give us minus 9x. Okay, so now what we have to do, let's get all the x's on one side. So that's add being the opposite of plus, of minus here, sorry. 9x from each side, so that goes over to here. 9x plus 7x, that makes 16x. 16x plus b, and that's going to equal, all on its own, 3a. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. So what we have to do, we see that the x is on its, get rid of this plus b to make the x on its own. So we are going to minus b from both sides, minus b. So I'm going to move it up here. So that is going to give us 16x, and the b is going to get cancelled out. So 16x equals 3a minus b. Minus b. Okay, now we've got to get rid of this 16, so we just divide both sides by 16. Divide by 16. Divided by 16. Okay, now let's leave it here. That's going to give us x on its own. And then that will equal 3a minus b over 16. So we divide it by 16. And that's it, we've got our answer. We've got x on its own, which is what we wanted. And now we can plug in the value for a and b and get the value for x. Alright guys, well done. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that helps.